action in the Under-20 Women's NTC Invitational Tournament. Today's first match features the national teams of Brazil and England. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of the national anthem of Brazil, followed by the national anthem of England. The referee for today's match is Maggie Short, assisted by Jennifer Politz and Kelsey Harms. The fourth official is Cecia Valera.
We're all set for match day 1 at the 2016 U-20 National Training Center Invitational as England and Brazil will kick us off. But first, we will have a minute's applause for Zoe Tynan, the U-19 England international who died tragically last week. Everyone at U.S. Soccer, their thoughts and prayers are with the Tynan family and with the English FA.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please direct your attention to midfield. Please stand and join the players from England and Brazil for a minute of applause to honor England under-19 women's national team member Zoe Tynan, who tragically lost her life in England last week. Thank you. The U.S. Soccer Federation joins England, Brazil, and the Korea Republic in honoring the memory of Zoe Tynan.
A wonderful young lady gone all too soon. Once again, our thoughts and prayers are with Zoe Tynan's family and the English FA as we are all set for kickoff. Game 1 of match day 1 here at the National Training Center Invitational between England and Brazil. England will kick off in their all-red kits, attacking to the right, while Brazil, in their famous yellow and blue kits, will be attacking to the left across whatever device you may be watching on. I'm Mark Serber. Thank you so much for joining us here in U.S. Soccer as we are ready to get underway. Brazil getting ready for the U-20 World Cup, where they will kick off the tournament against the host, Papua New Guinea, on November 13th in Group A. And rounding out, which actually on paper is a very daunting group, is DPR Korea and Sweden in Group A. England did not make it to the World Cup. However, it's tough to call them the one team in this tournament that didn't make it, considering that in their European championships, that was 4 out of the 5 best teams in Europe were in that group, in the likes of Germany, Spain, and Norway. So any other group, and you'd feel that England would have made it into the final stages with a chance to go through. However, these ladies have a chance in this tournament to show that they deserve to go on to what's called the next-gen squad, the U-23s for England, which is getting ready to kick off the La Manga tournament in Spain in February and will also compete in the Nordics. For Brazil, 7-time South American champions, have won every edition since 2004. They're getting ready for that kickoff with the host on November 13th. We're here at the last U-20 NTC Invitational that we had in June. Went 1-0-2 with a 1-0 win against Mexico, then a 4-0 loss to Japan, and a 2-1 loss against the U.S., who will feature later tonight against Korea Republic. Mallory Pugh scoring the game-winning goal in that one. However, the difference between that Brazil team and this Brazil team is last time they only had 2 camps. This time they've won the South American Championships, and they have had 5 camps, and this is their 6th camp, which started in late August. So this is a very different team to the one we saw in June here at the U-20 level. And a Brazil team which many are tipping to go very far in the tournament. Head coach Doriva Bueno saying, let's just get out of the group and then we'll take it step by step. Into the 2nd minute here. And England with their first real attack through Ian. And the throw-in will go the way of Brazil. Rosella Ian, one of 5 players on this England squad who play for Everton, which is head coach Mo Marley's former club. 24-year association with Everton for Mo Marley, both as a defender and then as the coach. Lifted multiple cups with them. Mo Marley, a former England captain with 41 caps to her name. Also led the U-19s to Euro glory back in 2009. Does that look to be a handball on Brenna, but play goes on? Looking up short for Jayce. Well, Duda was making a run out wide, but instead Brazil take the inside route, and it's won back by Katie Zellum. Liverpool lady spins in midfield, and this is Ellie Wilson. Nice little 1-2 played with Humphrey. Wilson into the channel. Top of the box, oh, and not a bad idea from Katie Zellum there, trying to lay it off for the run through. Perhaps just a bit too much weight on that pass, and it rolls out for a Brazil goal kick, but a promising first attack from the Three Lions. Bought forward by Diane. And this is Jesse. Poked out of bounds by Wilson, will be a throw in for Brazil. Katrine making a run down the line, but instead it goes inside to Duda. Back to Jesse. Miscue from her, and it's taken by Carter. Carla Humphrey looking to bring it down for the English. Wilson. And they'll settle it through the captain, Molly Bartrip. Playing center back today for England, Bartrip. However, is featured in the last 3 games in the center of midfield for Reading. Rolled out wide. 2 players in red making their way forward. Ayen plays it to the end line. Put back across and just stabbed away. Claudia Walker was ready to pounce, but England maintained possession. Wilson's forward here. She almost got it away from Diane, who recovers. Smacks it forward for Duda. And good tracking back from Jenna Deere. Brazil maintained possession, though. And Bartrip with a smart header. And George gets it back to her keeper. Gabby George, one of 4 players on the squad who featured for England at the 2014 World Cup. Three Lions bowing out in the group stage. George has also worn the captain's armband, most recently for the U-19s against France earlier this summer. A lovely skill on the far side. And looking for the forwards right away. Tenacious defending from Bartrip, who guides it back to her keeper, Sophie Bagley. George, Bartrip, Eloise Wilson. The Bristol City defender will play it into the middle for Jenna Deere. As England look to build out of the back in the 6th minute. Nyan tried to poke it through for Brett on the far side. England will keep possession, though. And the throw-in will be for Julia on the far side. Julia was one of 3 players who played at the U-20 NTC in June for Brazil. This is George. Notice how the center backs open up wide. It allows the fullbacks to get further forward. And Jenna Deere will come back to get it as she's that link between defense and attack. And that's a great ball sprayed out wide, but just running out of real estate on that far side is England. It'll be a throw-in for Brazil. However, if England can push a bit forward here, it's a chance to lock them in. Try and win the ball up high up the field. And it's won back by Brett. Zellum. As good tracking back by Katrine. However, Wilson equal to the task, and she wins it back for England. Zellum continues her run. Space is open on the far side. Lovely ball slotted out wide. Pulled into an interesting position, but cleared away by the Brazilians. And sent back into the far post, but overall comers, and it'll be another goal kick for Brazil in the 8th minute. Game 1 of match day 1 here at the 2016 U-20 Women's National Training Center Invitational. The USA will square off against the Korea Republic tonight, 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern. And, of course, all the action will be right here on USsoccer.com and US Soccer's YouTube page. Is Lorena getting set to take this goal kick? Both goalkeepers on the Brazilian roster play their club ball for Atlético Deportivo Centro Olímpico. And the header by Laís. Won by Duda. Helped out wide by Gabi. Julia looking for the early service, and it's not a bad ball, but George is there. Still work to do here for George. And she gets help from Carter. Claudia Walker into the channel. And Walker was fouled, and a good job by referee Maggie Short to play the advantage, and she'll pull it back for the free kick for England. Well, Zellum's found a little pocket of space. Still going Zellum. Dearwan in the middle. Instead, it's sprayed out to the near side, but the offside flag is up against Carla Humphrey. Humphrey, one of many players for this England side who are on loan so that they're getting regular playing time in their Women's Super League teams. Humphrey on loan with Doncaster Rovers Bells from Arsenal. That's one thing that this England coaching staff has really stressed to their squad, is that they need to be on teams where they're playing regularly, even if they have to go out on loan. Want to get them as many minutes as possible for these young players and get them as much exposure too, as the offside flag is up this time against Gabi, who plays her club football in Brazil with Corinthians. Touched out wide from Diane. And Yasmin was able to catch up to it. Laís. And Giovanna gets it out wide. Julia with her first touch into space. Brenna into the center for Laís. 20-year-old spins. And this time the free kick will be called against Wilson. So it was a nice turn by Gabi in midfield. And Wilson getting there just a split second too late. This is a nice ball in from Laís. And Gabi getting her foot to it just before the tackle from Wilson came in. And Brenna dinks this one to the top of the box. Brenna. Beautiful ball into space for Julia. Outside back getting forward again. And was able to get by Carter at the second time of asking. However, the second defender came over and covered, and necessarily so, as Brazil will have to hit the reset button in the 12th minute. And a bit of indecision there from Brenna, and England could be in business. And Rosella Ann had overrun the ball, but she did well to recover. And not a bad idea, playing it in for Walker, making the run, but just couldn't connect. And coming out to take is Lorena. Diane, Yasmin. Sao Jose defender plays it inside for Laís. The captain asking for players to get closer. Giovanna. Well, Brazil doing a good job to play those quick long balls up to the target players. However, that midfield line needs to get there quicker, so once those target players receive it, they can play quick little layoffs and continue forward. Get the benefit of a free kick here, though, and 4 players will line up across the top of the box for Brazil. Julia will leave it short. The cross comes in, and it's headed out of bounds by Jess Carter, but at the expense of the first corner kick of the game, and it goes to the Brazilians. Doriva Bueno said earlier this week that his side wants to play quick little passes, but they're also going to look for that long ball when it's on. They're certainly doing that here in the early going. And that short corner was picked off as it was lacking the necessary weight. So Brazil will have to recycle their runs, and that long ball into the box looking for Gabi goes all the way through for Begali. Great outlet ball to Rosella Ann. The overlap comes from Claudia Walker. Looking to pull it in behind the defenders, and she does just that, but nobody arriving in a red shirt. Well, that's the area you want to pull it into. Great ball from Claudia Walker right into that corridor of uncertainty behind that back line, but in front of the keeper, where Lorena had to make that decision whether to stay on her line and come out. It didn't matter what she did that time around because nobody was crashing the net for England. Wind really whipping around here in Carson. This is Brett. Brett, along with Eloise Wilson, both play for Bristol City, who was relegated from the WSL 1 last season, but are in contention for promotion to go right back up. Good skill from Lais, but the pass behind Katrine. And Carter will try to shield it out on the far side. Instead, she's going to be whistled for the foul. Well, I think Carter's telling referee Maggie Short that's not a foul in England. The elbow was out a bit. Seen referees let that go. However, it'll be a free kick for Brazil. And once again, it looks like they're going to want to play this long. Just 4 players to seek out at the top of the box. As Deja Vu. George skies to clear it. Bought down by Zellum. Zellum, one of the 4 players on this roster who featured at the 2014 World Cup for England U-20s. He's been with the England youth setup since the age of 14. And here's Zellum again. Bartrip. And England looking very comfortable under this high pressure, able to break it. Now the next question is, can they go forward? Lais tidies up. And this is Diane for Brazil in the 17th minute. Duda chasing. Carter gets the loose ball and guides it back to Begali. And that was a good ball right to Brett. That'll be a throw-in for Brazil on the far side. England arrived late on Monday night. Were scheduled to leave on Sunday, however, changed their flight so that their players could play for their clubs in WSL 1 and WSL 2. Zellum. Good ball into the path of Ayan. And her opposite number is able to get back in front of her. Zellum. Brett. You can see the vision of Zellum pulling the strings in midfield as she gets it out wide for Carter. Lovely combinations. Open up space in the box and trying to slide it across. But the deflection takes the sting out of it, and it rolls to Lorena, who picks up. Brazil also arrived on Monday after an 18-hour trip from Rio de Janeiro to Miami and finally LA. USA has been here at their base since September 1st, and Korea got here last Wednesday. So a bit more time for those teams to adjust. Brazil, however, have been together since the end of August. They were training together just outside of Rio de Janeiro before coming to California. England, of course, with their club commitments, couldn't do the same. Said they had a short training camp in August, though, where they started to look at Brazil. And the long ball forward smashed out of bounds by Giovanna. Brenna for Brazil. Diane. Yasmin checking back on the line and opens up the space for the long by Jeze. Tried to head it forward for Duda. And Carter will get there before Katrine. Into the middle for Jody Brett. Laid off for Zellum. And Zellum wins the free kick. Did so well to ride that challenge and keep possession for England, but the referee brought it back for the foul. Brett and Zellum looking to combine, but Jeze wins it back. And play on, says the referee out of the Ohio South Federation. Lovely first touch from Ayan. Walker. Possession lost by Brett in the center circle. Duda leaves it off for Katrine. And Brett did well to recover. Deere with a perfectly weighted ball to the far side. Humphrey able to track it down. And Brett, she's encouraged to shoot, steps into it, just over Lorena's crossbar. First real opportunity of the match falls to the Three Lions. And it was a good shot from Brett. Now she was invited to go at that gap by England. That was a great ball in from Humphrey. And Brett had time to pick out her spot. And that shot just not getting down in time. But really, the first moment of concern for either goalkeeper in this game through 21 minutes. Nice piece of skill from Brenna to win that free kick. Where's the number 5? But she's playing the number 6 role just in front of the defense, acting as the shield on the defensive side of the ball and then being that linchpin between defense and attack when Brazil do have the ball. Ayan intercepts. Out wide for Humphrey, looking to run. Humphrey puts it over. So another promising break for England. Just need to get those efforts on target and really test Lorena. But they are finding pockets of space in between the defensive and midfield lines of Brazil. Bartrap gets it forward. Deere. Beautiful combination from the English. English really starting to string passes together. It's not a bad ball to the back hook. And Ayan had to put that back. Just couldn't wrap her foot around it. She had the right idea. She was trying to put it back towards the penalty spot. That cross perhaps happening a bit too much of her. As if it had been a bit further away from goal, she could have either put it back or maybe had a shot out of her own. Instead had to chase it down in the end. Now it's Brazil moving the ball from side to side and looking to their forward line. Poked away by Carter. And correction, George. Gabrielle George started her career at Man U. Now with Everton, as Man U doesn't have a WSL team. Laish tried to thread it through, but not enough space in behind that England back line, and it goes all the way to Begley. Deer to bring it forward for England. Looking for the run of Wilson. Brenna. Katrine. And neatly closed down by George. Katrine steps in. George nods it out wide. Carter able to chase it down. A lovely skill to evade that first challenge. And George will use her safety valve in the keeper, Sophia Begley. Jody Brett for England in the 26th minute. Gabi streaming forward and tried to poke it through for the run of Jay-Z. And Jay-Z, the guilty party there, will be a free kick for England. Not a place where you need to foul. Have the defender facing her own goal, have players coming up in support. A chance to win that ball back high up the field. Instead, England get a get out of jail free card. And they'll work it to Carter on the far side. And Jess Carter out of Birmingham City came to the England fold late. But even so, she's still one of the players that this England staff believes can go on through the next gen and all the way to Mark Simpson's senior side. Good job by England, not pressing up high, but they're keeping their shape, forcing Brazil to pass it around the back line. Still haven't found the solution that will get them forward. When we talk about teams wanting the high press, but in 90-minute games, it's not always the best thing to try and go full throttle for the whole 90 minutes. So what teams will do to give themselves a break is will sit back in their shape and pick and choose their times to go forward and try and win that ball. However, Brazil's been able to work it in deep. Textbook defending from England right at the edge of their box. However, Brenna wins it back in midfield for Brazil. Julia looking for that long ball again. Now elects to keep it on the ground. Skip past one, but a bit too far for Katrine. And Katrine really winning a ball she had absolutely no right going after. and Brazil maintained possession. Flighted into the box. Wilson's clearance only as far as Brenna. And Brenna has time to assess her options. Looks for the diagonal run just beyond the reach of Duda, who looks back to applaud the effort. But instead it's in the hands of Sofia Begali. Wilson for England. Yasmin stands her ground. And Brenna finds Diane. Before this tournament, both of these teams talked about how excited they were about the caliber of the opposition they're facing. Doriva Bueno said he told his side that this is exactly like a mini World Cup. This is what you're going to see in Papua New Guinea. For England, they talked about the fact that missing out on the World Cup, you really miss out on a chance for development, but this gives them that kind of simulation to be able to play in these games against World Cup caliber squads. And they have some defending to do here, England. Jesse shot is charged down. And a grateful Begali will pick up. And wouldn't have mattered anyways. The offside flag is up against Jesse. Kelsey Harms, the assistant referee on the far side out of Washington, putting her flag up, duly acknowledged by center referee Maggie Short. For England, they talked about how this is really the chance for these players to push towards that next-gen side, the U-23s, and also that Mark Sampson's going to be watching, keeping a close eye on them as he's going to look to pick out players out of the U-20s and the U-23s for the 2017 Euros, which are fast approaching. Tournaments creep up on you pretty quickly in international soccer. Just past the half-hour mark here in Carson, 0-0 between England and Brazil in the first match of the U-20 Women's NTC Invitational. Both teams have dominated in pockets, but England have had the better of the chances. Two long-range shots going just over Lorena's crossbar. However, Brazil starting to assert themselves on the half-hour mark. That's not a bad ball either, but it was well read by Begali. Lovely distribution as well out to Humphrey. Has a reputation in England for being a crafty winger, Humphrey. A good job by Jody Brett to recover and win that ball as Katie Zellum has an issue. She's able to get up. And so England will play it out so that Zellum, who's gone back down, can get some assistance. And a chance for both teams if they want to come over and get some water in the 32nd minute. England at times have bossed this game with their possession, their comfort on the ball. And for a while, we're finding pockets of space in between the Brazilian defense and midfield lines. And from there, that's where they fashioned their two shots that went just over.
In the 32nd minute, the score remains Brazil 0, England 0.
Brazil have done a good job to move the ball as well. However, I'd like to see the players get a bit closer to each other and mix it up too. A lot of times they're looking for that long ball straight away. If they're going to do that, the midfield needs to chase and catch up to those forwards that they're there in support once the likes of Duda and Jesse bring it down. Zellum looks to be okay walking off under her own power. Zellum has been with the Three Lions youth setup since the age of 14. Despite the fact that fourth official Cecilio Valero is trying to usher the players back onto the field, Doriva Bueno continuing to teach and give his Brazil side instructions. Mo Marley's staff has pretty much just been chilling on the bench throughout these first 32-plus minutes. Doriva Bueno has been at the edge of his technical area the entire game. Brazil side in their sixth camp since winning the 2015 U-20 South American Championships. Won 4 games and drew 3 as they topped Group A and then won the final group. Scored 12 goals and conceded just 3. Brazil's best finish in a U-20 World Cup came back in 2006 when they won the bronze medal. Space to run. And slid in between the center and outside back. Pulled back across. The offside flag is up. So even though it was good defending from Giovanna, well, the referee hasn't spotted it, so Giovanna has to clear. And now the referee looks over toward the near side. And there is Jennifer Politz with her flag in the air. So it'll be a free kick for Lorena. Diane to bring it forward for Brazil. Brenna calling for calm. Instead, it's played over Duda. Heading back into the path of Gabi, who took a heavy challenge, and Brazil played it quickly. Yasmin. Jesse gets the return ball from Gabi. Tried to play it across, but well stationed by Molly Bartrip to get it away. Only as far as Yasmin, but she's quickly closed down by Wilson. There's the foul. Have to admire the courage of Gabi going in there. Knew she was going to get hit. Genevieve for England. Be interesting to see how many substitutions we see right at halftime. Jesse. Oh, and curled toward the far post. But a sprawling save from Bagali to deny Gabi of the opening goal for Brazil. Second corner kick of the game for the Brazilians. But England have their elastic keeper to thank for the score being 0-0. It was a lovely idea from Gabi. You could see the gears turning in her head, looked up, opened up her hips and tried to wrap that ball to the far post, but Begley read it all the way. So the corner's taken short. And it'll be the third corner kick of the game for the Brazilians. First 2 corners they've taken short, and on both of them they were unable to get a cross off. And head coach Doriva Bueno urging them to play this one into the box. Brazil oblige. And cleared away by Carter at the near post. Only as far as Brenna. Neatly brought down by Yasmin, but she's forced to go back with it. Good tracking back by Duda. Gabi thought about another shot, instead gets it off to her captain. And Brenna played it behind Julia, who's making a run forward. Be Carter's throw-in on the far side for England. And out of bounds off of Katrin. So Carter will inch further up that line. Another heavy challenge has an England player down, and now the training staff called out by the referee. Take a look and see what happened here. And well, it was that poke through the legs, and I think it caught her. This is Claudia Walker. Good sign to see her standing up. Looks like she's going to be able to walk this one off. Definitely see that she got hit as the challenge came in. Oh. And Claudia Walker looks to be in some discomfort as the trainer calling for a substitution, so England are going to have to go to their bench before halftime. And what a shame for Walker. You can tell she's so frustrated.
Hey, Tony. Bring the gate around. She seems okay. Bring the gate around. See over the corner and see if they need her. Okay? Get over the other side.
So for the moment, England are down to 10 women. So Natasha Flint will be Claudia Walker's replacement. As you'd expect, it'll be a like-for-like change, a forward for a forward. So that's a good ball. Lorena to the extreme of her penalty area to quell the danger. Natasha Flint, who plays for Fylde, started her career at Manchester City, another player that this England coaching staff rates very highly. And Flint, a veteran of that 2014 U-20 World Cup, will check in for Claudia Walker. So Flint, the first player to get entrance from the bench. So it comes in the 41st minute for Claudia Walker, who had to come off injured after that challenge on the far side.
Substitution in the 41st minute for England. Entering the match, number 19, Natasha Flint. Leaving the match, number 9, Claudia Walker.
Brett able to find Ayan on the near side. And good one-on-one defending from Yasmin. She let the ball go by her, but not the lady. Bartrip rolls it in for Brett. Little touch out wide for Wilson. Help forward for Ayin. And Ayin didn't continue her run. Zellum thought that she was going to go down the line. Diane. Oh, that was cheeky. Inside the final 4.5 minutes of first half regulation, 0-0 between England and Brazil. Game 1 and match day 1 of the 2016 U-20 Women's NTC Invitational in Carson, California. Jesse was trying to change that, but Bartrip shut the door. Flicked on for Brenna. Pokes it forward for Jesse, able to get it out wide. Cross comes in, looking for Gabi. However, 2 England defenders policing her, and they'll come away with it. Julia's popped up in the center and rather overran it, and Deere takes it back for England. Brazil win it right back from Catherine, who gets it out to Jeze. Skips past Carter the first time of asking, but she gets back and wins the second challenge. And quickly closed down, and Doriva Bueno likes that. So it'll be a throw-in for Carter on the far side as we're into the final 2 minutes of first half regulation. Can't imagine too much is going to be added on to the end of this first half. England trying to make inroads down the far side. The overlap is on, and it opens up space in the middle. And England thought they had claims for a free kick. Bartrip's positioning has been excellent today. She gets on the end of that loose ball. George. Carter. Deere asking for it in the middle, but instead the space is on down the line. This is promising from England. Flint is in, and she almost scores with her first real involvement of the game. Lorena able to get back just in time. But that's the best chance of the match for either side. England showing their danger on the counterattack once again. We've had the best 3 opportunities in this first half, England. However, the score remains 0-0. As that ball was not bouncing favorably for Flint, did well just to get up and make contact on it. But easy for the keeper in the end. Unlucky for Flint, who made the right run. But that was a great quick attack out of the back. Just 3 passes to get from the defense into the box. Bartrip wins yet another 50-50 ball for the 3 Lions. The Seleção continue to press. And Bagali gets it out wide. Into stoppage time, of which 3 minutes has been signaled by 4th official Cecil Valero.
3 minutes of stoppage time.
Can either side steal a goal before the break? Bartrip steps in and wins the free kick. Quickly taken by Zellum. Perfectly under the foot of Ayan. Top of the box for Flint. Filed forward, spins and gets it back out wide for Ayan. She looks to pull it across. Flint just didn't get proper contact on it. And Lorena waiting for her center backs to get out wide. Leaves it off for Giovanna. Brenna. Over a minute of the minimum 3 has elapsed in stoppage time. Brazil has 3 players getting warm behind the bench. Good high pressing from Ayan, who's had an excellent half. Katrine trying to sneak in. George wouldn't let her. Jesse unloads. But Carter gets in the block. And Begley will pick up the pieces. Out wide for Humphrey. And Lorraine gets there before the run of Rosella Ayan. Into the final minute of stoppage time, plus anything else that the referee sees fit. England just looking to sit back in their shape and pick their time to pinch up and win the ball. Still looking to put that back line under a little bit of duress, England. Diane inside for Lais. Well, somehow Gabi was able to get through that double. And it wasn't a bad ball, but Duda saw the run late. Final moments of the first half. 0-0 after 45 minutes between England and Brazil. The English with the better of the chances. 2 shots from about 20 yards out, going just over Lorena's crossbar. And then Flint was played in, but the ball bouncing up just a bit too high for her, did well to make contact, but Lorena was there to make the save. And at halftime, we are scoreless. 45 minutes down, 45 minutes to go in match 1 on match day 1 here at the NTC Invitational. We're going to take a break, but we'll be back with you in 15 short minutes for the second half between England and Brazil. Ayan has a step on her, plays it across, and cleared away by Diane. And then Ayan perhaps a bit too overzealous there. She tries to pull it across on the half volley, and it goes all the way to the other side and out of bounds for a throw-in for Brazil in midfield. Gabby George. Jess Carter. Katrine steps in. Lais takes over for Brazil. And England looking to take advantage of the interception, but Yasmin did well to get back on the far side. No, Brazil wanted a free kick, but instead it's going to be an England throw-in. Miscue from Yasmin gives the ball back to the three lines. So Wilson stepped in, and I think she did get the ball, even though she got a lot of Gabi. Brazil have it back via the throw. And Julia is looking to creep up on the near side. Hooked away from her by Carter. Ayan able to keep it in bounds. And Katrine keeps a watchful eye. I think questions as to whether it's going to be a throw-in or a free kick. Well, it will be a free kick. And Ayan's going to leave this off for Carter. Looking for Ayan right away. Katrine intervenes. And a good job by Carter to get up and win it back for England. Bartrip continues to bulldoze her way through. Zellum, Flynn at the top of the box. Shot takes a deflection. Calls finally for Bartrip, but the offside flag is up. Good save by Lorena at her near post. A good run forward from the center back, Molly Bartrip. Flynn a bit too tactile for the assistant referee's liking, as here was Bartrip coming in, and the ball took a deflection and fell to her, but she was in an offside position, so the flag went up. Lorena had it covered, though. Now Yasmin being told to bring it back to the spot of the foul. Forward by Julia. Jay-Z keeps possession for Brazil. Helps it on to Duda. Skips past Bartrip, puts it to the near post, and flicked over the crossbar. Best attack of the game for the Brazilians. Lovely skill from Duda to touch it around her defender and then get it across. And it wasn't far off in the end. Hooked forward by Brett, and a handball will be called on the far side as there was the pass in, and a great job by that midfielder to make that delayed run through, as we're going to have our first substitution of the afternoon for Brazil. And it's going to be Duda who leaves us. So Duda, excellent involvement on that last play, but her day is done in the 56th minute. Showed signs of what she's capable of up top. And she's going to be replaced by Victoria, 18-year-old who plays for Minas in Brazil. Her first order of business will be defending this England free kick. Floated deep into the box. It falls for Flint. The Brazilians allow it to bounce. But Natasha Flint can only help it into the arms of Lorena. Quick outlet to the far side. Brazil looking to break in the 56th minute.
Match number 17, Victoria, leaving the match number 9, Duda.
So 5 substitutions left for either side. However, the way it works here is you're only allowed to stop the games 3 times in the second half. You're allowed to make multiple substitutions in those stoppages, though, but Brazil can only make substitutions on 2 more occasions. Oh, it was a bad giveaway from Begley, and she was lucky to see it bounce off of Victoria and fall right into her arms. Really, the first miscue from the keeper, though, is once again you see her excellent distribution almost springing an attack for England the other way. It goes from one goalkeeper to another in Carson, and it's Brazil to build out of the back through Giovanna. Julia doesn't like her options forward. Brenna. And now Giovanna sends it into the channel for Victoria to chase. Hooked clear by Carter and helped on by Brett. Julia intercepts. Lovely combinations from the Brazilians, but George is there. Can't keep control of it, though, and it's going to be the 5th corner kick of the game for the Brazilians, 2nd of the half. As there was Begley hitting it right into Jose. Lucky to see it rebound off of her and right back to the keeper. Well, that is why you always put pressure on the ball. 5th set piece of the game for Brazil. Can they make it count? Diane tracks down it on the far side. And sent clear by Humphrey. Julia. And Carter showing that she's a no-nonsense defender. Perfectly flicked on by Gabi. However, won back by Bartrip. Ayana's off to the races. Giovanna keeping an eye on her. Perfectly placed the far side. It sat up nicely for Flint, but she couldn't get over the ball. And it'll be a goal kick for Lorena. She's had her chances in this game, Natasha Flint. But it remains 0-0 as we head toward the hour mark here at the National Training Center in Carson. Once again, it was Ayan to the fore, perfectly placed right onto the foot of Flint. She did well to set herself up for the shot, but you could see her leaning back as she hit it. If she gets the right technique on that and tests Lorena, it could very well be 1-0. As England about to make their 2nd substitution, and it's going to be Sarah Mailing coming on for Carla Humphrey. So good afternoon on the wing for Humphrey. Ends just before the hour.
2nd substitution in the 59th minute for England, entering the match number 16.
And Sarah Mailing out of Aston Villa comes in.
7, Carla Humphrey.
It's another player who's been in this England setup for a while. has struggled over the last few years with injuries. But back now and looking to make her case to move on to the next gen team in the U23s for England. Bartrip has been so solid today. Julia had the angle covered. Jesse tried to help it onto Gabby, but George steps in. Giovanni's free kick. Played short for Lais. Hassled by Zellum. And won back by Flint. Into the space for Ayan. Diane's coming across, but Ayan gets the shot off. It was always rising. But Ayan continues to be England's most dangerous player going forward. Nothing to concern Lorena in the end, though. If you take England's chances and you put those efforts on target, it could have very different storylines in this game, though. Mailing chasing. Yasmin hits it off of her and retrieves and can only usher it out of bounds. Reminder to stay with us on U.S. Soccer is coming up next. 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. It'll be the USA taking on Korea Republic in game number 2 here at the NTC Invitational. USA winning the CONCACAF Championship at the end of December to claim its spot in the 2014 World Cup. Well, the Korea Republic will go to Papua New Guinea as the third place finishers at the U19 AFC Championships. Beat China 4-0 in the third place match to claim Asia's final spot in the competition. Now another substitution will be made by Brazil. Is Nicole getting set to check in? Ayan has found a bit of space on this near side again. Looks for the early cross, doesn't wrap her foot around it, and it flies right into the arms of the keeper. And here comes the substitution. It's going to be the captain, Lais, who leaves us. Like for like change is Nicole. The Ferrovaria midfielder will check in. As Lais hands off the captain's armband to Nicole. And Doriva Bueno still has 4 substitutions to burn, but only 1 stoppage to do it in. England continuing to press up down the far side. Brett gets it forward. Deer into the feet of Flint. 2 players to find in the box. Gets to the byline, pulls it across, but Diane is well stationed. Brenna. Little touch out wide for Yasmin. Up right away to those target players. Good hold-up play, and the midfield this time joins them. But England doing so well to force them all the way back. Brenna, little touch out wide for Julia. Into the gap for Jeze. Muscled off the ball by Gabby George. And dangerous play is going to be called against George, so it'll be a free kick for the Brazilians. George thought that one should have gone the other way. You can see the confusion on her face as she gets back into defensive position. Well, it seemed to be 50-50. And then perhaps a little push there from Jeze. Katrine floats it to the penalty spot. Well read by Begley. And she's going to hold and allow her charges to get forward before rolling it out. Eloise Wilson. Forward for Ayan, who's popped up on the far side. And she's whistled for the push in the back. Yasmin quickly off for Brenna. Oh, and that's a poor pass. And the shot from Mailing charged down. So another opportunity for England. Just can't take advantage. But they've come so close to punishing Brazil for giving the ball away in the back. Header won by Zellum. And shielded by Carter, who wins the free kick. Zellum's been closely marked, but I'd like to see herself impose herself a bit more in this game. They're so dangerous when the ball's at her feet. So right now it's at the feet of Bartrip. She can only play it out of bounds as she's quickly closed down. 0-0 in the 67th minute. Game 1 of match day 1 at the U-20 Women's NTC Invitational. Up next for England will be a matchup with the Stars and Stripes at 7 o'clock Pacific on Friday night. Before that, Brazil will face off against the Korea Republic at 4. Slow to get up behind the play is Gabi. It's into the space for Flint. Past the on-rushing Lorena, but just on the wrong side of the post. And it's Brazil who escape once again. Flint's done an excellent job to put herself into dangerous positions tonight. Just missing that final ball. Flynn has been so dangerous getting into those areas. It's just the finishing touch that's lacking. It remains 0-0 as England continue to have the better of the chances. And you can see it all started once again with Begley's great distribution to spring that counterattack. Almost finished it with Flint putting the ball into the net at the other end. Bartrip brings it forward in the 69th. Julia heads clear. And a bit of hesitation allows Zellum to win it back, but it's hooked away by Giovanna. Brazil settling back into a 4-4-2 shape. George switches the point of attack. Carter settles. That was not a bad idea, rolling it inside for Meiling. Giovanna saw the danger. Flint brings it down. Carter skips by Katrine and wins the free kick for the Three Lions in a very dangerous position. Good work by Carter, the outside back coming forward. This is that first little skip by Katrine. Ball was just too far in front of her, but able to get there in time to win it off of Julia and win the free kick in the process. Two women in the wall, Mailing standing over the set piece. Chance to swing it into the mix. It's a good ball off the crossbar. George so close to breaking the deadlock, and a chance on here, but the ball squeaks just wide off the boot of Jenna Deere. England getting closer and closer in the 71st minute. So the center back came flying in. Great contact on the header, but the woodwork comes to the keeper's rescue. Nyan chasing, but Yasmin gets in front of her. It's been all England in the last 10 minutes. Still looking for the game's opening goal. Things getting just a bit testy. And Yasmin becomes the first player to go into Maggie Short's book. That's a needless yellow card. Wilson's throwing. Deere trying to turn, dispossessed. That's a free kick for Brazil, but not a bad foul by Deere to concede, as it keeps Brazil from starting a counterattack. And Lorena pushes everyone up. You could see why Yasmin got frustrated there, but she has to keep her cool. Really wasn't anything in it from Rosella Ayan. Here is Yasmin. And Ayan steps in to poke it away.
Card issued in the 72nd minute to number 6, Yasmin of Brazil.
Brazil looking for that moment of magic to try and unlock this England defense. The challenge came in late from Zellum. George. Carter takes off down the near side. Giovanna with a high challenge, but she got the ball just in time. Otherwise, she could have been in real trouble. That's going to be the first corner kick of the game for the Three Lions. Nope, they're going to pull it back for the free. Now they're going to say it's a corner kick. Six players in red crashing the box, and it skips all the way through. Swung back in and cleared away by Brenna. Julia. Off a Mailing last, and it'll be Brazil's throw. Katrina, no one in support. She's able to pick off the pass. And the space is on, and the shot skips just wide of the far post. The substitute Victoria almost changing the complexion of this match. Just couldn't get her effort on target. But it was something to concern Begley. Zellum uses the safety valve in her keeper. George steps inside one. Carter. Lyanne had to hold up for it. Well, it's intricate from the English. If Mailing had been able to find that ball out wide, Carter would have been off in space. Katrine. Brazil have so many good ball winners in this midfield. And Gabi has stayed onside. Cuts inside Bartrip and puts it right at the keeper. Brazil starting to create chances. And perhaps a bit ambitious from Brenna. Well, Brazil in the last few minutes and against the run of play created 2 or 3 good opportunities. First shot from Victoria, flashing just wide of the far post. And then it was a great job by Bartrip not to allow Gabi to get in behind her. Gabi still able to get a shot off, but put it right at Begley. And then Brenna had plenty of space, but put her effort well wide when she could have gone forward with it. So this time a foul called against Brazil. Much to the chagrin of Doriva Bueno. Had his arms outstretched and some words for the assistant referee. Brett lays it back for George. Bartrip. Wouldn't be surprised if England roll out a completely different lineup against the USA. England coaching staff telling us before the tournament that it's all about getting all of their players exposure and getting them minutes against this high international level. You can see Yasmin stretching out Diane. So you'll see that in the later stages of these games, especially when teams have only had 1 or 2 days to train after coming in on such long trips. Brazil trained twice on Tuesday after an 18-hour travel day on Monday. And the same for the English. So a chance for Mo Marley to speak to her side as they grab some water. So we take a look, and just when you go down like that, especially on tired legs, you never know if something's going to tighten up. Genevieve has done an excellent job in midfield. The Evertonian on loan from Chelsea. Lorena, like her counterpart, keeping a clean sheet at the moment. Diane looks to be okay. Training staff asking the referee for permission for her to come back on. I think the center referee is going to make Lorena take this kick before she allows Diane to enter back in. And that's exactly what happened. So we're back to 11v11 as we head into the final 10 minutes of regulation. Space for Carter. Out wide for Ayan. He's looking to go inside, and there was acres of space out wide. Nobody making the run into it, though. This could be awkward for Julia. Able to stab it out of bounds so Brazil can regroup, but still England with the ball deep in Brazilian territory as we're inside the final 10 minutes of regulation. Looks like England will make a double change at the next stoppage. So the long throw comes in, looking for the flick on at the front post, and it's going to be the second corner kick of the game for the English. Well, England practiced set pieces in their first training yesterday. Will it come to fruition? It's the English bench electing to wait for the change to be made. And headed clear. Believe it was Brenna who got the touch. And now the double substitution will come with Coral Haynes getting set to check in alongside Millie Turner. So Haynes will come in for Jody Brett. Jenna Deer's day is also done, as Millie Turner will check in for her. So it's one Evertonian for another. It's Millie Turner, who can play in defense or midfield, will come in and sit just in front of that back four. So it's another long ball into the box, this time brought down, and Flint's shot is skied over the crossbar.
Third and fourth substitution in the 86th minute for England, entering the match number 17, Coral.
So once again, Flint has shown her ability to get in those dangerous positions. Now it's going to be all about applying the final touch.
Leaving the match number 12, Jenna Deer.
But you can see why she's rated so highly by the England setup. Good reverse ball into the space of Brenna. Forward for Gabi. Steps past the first challenge. And rather played it behind Jesse. Able to get it back though, leaves it off. And curled to the far post. Good sprawling save from Begley. Excellent hold-up play from Jesse. And she left it off for Katrine. Strong from the forward, left it off, and Katrine just not able to curl it toward that upper corner. An effort much in the same vein of Gabby's in the first half. George in the 84th minute, Carter. Two of them have worked well together. Poked up the wing for Flint. Giovanna comes over. Flint gets it in the middle for Turner. Her first touch of the match. Slides by. Leaves it off at the top of the box, and the offside flag is up. As Ayan cutting inside. Needs to be able to read that back four, especially when coming in wide. But it was a great idea on that run as she tried to loop inside, and it's the right run. Just need to time it a little bit better. But Ayan and Flynn have been the best two players going forward for the English. It's a lovely build-up play from the Brazilians, but Bartrip gets back. It's been so solid all game. Molly Bartrip, worthy of wearing the captain's armband for the Three Lions. The throw in for Eloise Wilson. Jesse. And the offside flag up against Victoria. Again, if you're on the wing and you're looking across that back line, you should not be offside. Begley takes the free kick as we're inside the final 5 minutes of regulation. And finally brought to ground after a bit of head tennis in the center circle. Lovely turn for Mayan, and she wins the free kick for England. Looking to play it quickly. It's not legal, but that was the right thing to do from the Brazilian defender to step in front of that free kick. So this will be the final substitution for Brazil. And Kellen is going to check in for Jesse. Tremendous hold-up play from Brazil's number 11. And she almost created a goal for Katrine. And now Kellen, who featured in June for the U-20s here at the NTC, comes back onto the field here at Glenn Mooch Meyernick. Flint turned and saw she had the space but couldn't get her effort on target.
Entering the match number 18, Kellen. Leaving the match number 11, Jay-Z.
Kellen, 20-year-old who plays for Iranduba in Brazil. It'll be a goal kick for Lorena. Wilson gets to it first. Had 3 Brazilians for company and somehow got out of it. And Brazil looking to break down the far side, but running out of real estate. Giovanna turns. Julia. England has done a really good job of keeping Brazil's fullbacks from getting forward into the attack this afternoon. Zellum. Turner. Smartly guides it back to her keeper. George. Perfectly into the path of Flint. Flicked on for Diane, a bit too far. Diane has to be careful though, and it's opened up the opportunity, and it's taken by Myling. A lack of awareness from Diane, and Myling takes full advantage, and England take the lead in the 89th minute. Diane just not aware that there was a player sneaking in at the back post. Let it run, and Myling latched onto it first time, perfectly placed into the far corner. And it's England who are on their way to 3 points. It's the substitute, Sarah Mayling, who has given England the lead in the 89th minute. Can they hang on for all 3 points in the opening match at the NTC Invitational?
Goal scored for England in the 89th minute by number 16, Sarah Mayling.
Mayling becomes the second player to go into Maggie Short's book this afternoon. Free kick for Brazil. Julia wanted to play that quickly, and they're going to have to bring it back.
Yellow card issued in the 90th minute to number 19, Natasha Flint of England.
Julia plays it to the far side. And once again, the referee is going to bring this back as the players continue to play on. Hadn't heard the whistle. There's going to be 3 minutes of stoppage time. 3 minutes for Brazil to steal a point. Played into the mix. Something could still be on here for the Brazilians.
The referee has added
Comfortable for Begley in the end.
Stoppage time to the end
You
of the match.
cannot let the ball bounce in your box like that, especially this late in the match. Begley taking all 6 seconds and will now put it on the floor. One minute of the minimum 3 of stoppage time has elapsed. Can England take 3 points in a Friday night's match against the Stars and Stripes? Continuing to press forward and kill more time off this clock. Sarah Maling's 89th minute strike, the only moment separating these two sides. But what a lapse in concentration it was along the Brazilian back line. However, full credit to Maling. And a free kick for the Brazilians, a chance to get more yellow jerseys forward. Final minute, the minimum 3 of stoppage time. Katrine, Julia. And cleared away by George before Kellen could get on the end of it. Played behind Julia. And smashed clear by Ayin. Carter steps in. Ayin being told to carry it forward. Just tried to massage it down the line, but it's going to go out of bounds. No time for Brazil to launch one more attack, and it's the English who will take all 3 points from match number 1. Sarah Maling taking advantage of a mistake along the back line and hammering home the game's only goal in the 89th minute. And it's England had the better of the chances, deserve it for their enterprise in the end as they win 1-0 over Brazil. Reminder to stay with us is coming up at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. The USA will open up their account in the NTC against the Korea Republic. But for now, I'm Mark Serber signing off from Glenn Moochmeyer Nick Field, where it finishes England 1, Brazil 0.